So, hello. This is my first time going live. I'm not expecting to get anyone joining, but I do want to get used to doing this. Um, you might be able to tell by my voice that I have slightly lost it. I was just back from Belladrum yesterday. I played on the Saturday, but I was there from the Thursday, and I made the mistake of not taking an airbed with me, and I was sleeping on the cold ground for 3 nights, and drunk as well, so I wasn't really paying attention to how cold I actually was. So now I'm on the Lemsip. It's improved quite a bit today. Yesterday it was really bad. I was coughing and spluttering, but all worth it, of course. But yeah, so played Belladrum. It was the free range stage put on by Bob and Helen Bull, and it was really good. Had a great time. Spent it with a lot of friends that I've made over the last wee while through music, and it was a good few days. I also released a new single on Friday, called "Never Up." I've not actually managed to promote yet because I've been so busy the last couple of weeks with playing festivals. I normally put a post out just to say that the new single's out, but I've not even done that yet. Um, so yeah, I'm gonna plan on doing that in the next wee bit. I wonder if anyone will join. It's coming up for 2 minutes now. I've not promoted this. I've not said to anyone that I'm going live. It is quite nerve wracking going live, even though there is no one here. Because I didn't want to come on with any kind of script of as to what I would talk about. I just wanted to kind of wing it and see how I get on. I've done a few test runs of this where I've made it private, and it's it feels quite easy. It's quite relaxing to do. Um, but yeah, I do feel this kind of buzz of anxiety right now, even though no one is here. But I think I'll just leave it up once it is here. So the reason I want to start going live is just to kind of have an opportunity to speak and get better at it, get to speak about my music, to speak about what I'm doing, and to give people a kind of way to get to know me. And so this first stream, I think I've called it Belladrum, Never Up, and all the rest. All the rest being introduction. If you don't already know who I am, which is the vast majority of people. So my name is Stephen McCafferty. That's Stephen with a PH, which I often have to correct posters. I had to correct a few things at Belladrum. Usually it's the second name that people get wrong. They spell it with an MAC, or they call me MacArthur or McCaffrey, but it's McCafferty. So Stephen PH. Although when I said that to someone once, Stephen with a PH, they thought I was spelling Stephen with PHTEVEN. There's not much I can do about that, about people that think that. But yeah, McCafferty is McCafferty, and I am a singer songwriter and have been for 28 years now. I started writing songs when I was 10 year old. Kind of fell into it and just never stopped. I'm from a wee village called Leslie, which is in Fife and has been in the last 70 to 80 years. It's been swallowed up by Glenrothes. Right now, I'm drinking Lemsip. It is helping, but I went to Leslie Primary School to begin with. and that was followed by Coodie Primary School, and then Glenoffice High School. And yeah, I was doing music the whole time. I think the first song I wrote was called All Around the World. It just so happened to be coinciding with a band at the time that had just released a song called that. They were called Oasis, and they released a song called All Around the World. And the person that got me into music was a big Oasis fan, so I guess I was playing to the crowd. But it was in 1998 that I took up songwriting, and that coincided with World Cup '98. So the first song I wrote was me going home and getting a pullout from the paper that had all the groups and all the teams in the groups. I don't remember the melody, but it was effectively a list of teams followed by a, what do you call them, a refrain all around the world. So uh, I can't remember all the groups. Maybe Scotland's group I can remember. It was like Scotland, Brazil, Norway, Morocco, all around the world. It would have been a terrible song, I'm sure, but I did enjoy it, and haven't stopped since. I'm kind of glad that no one's joining, although who knows? But I've not I've not really promoted it, and it is Monday night. Thankfully, I'm not back to work until Thursday. That's what I do when I'm not doing music. I work as a support worker for homeless men in Edinburgh, which can be quite an intense job. But music's my passion. I think this is something as well that I want to get used to. I don't want to have to fill the silence, although it's probably not going to be a very exciting video. But just get used to talking when there's no one here. I do find when I'm doing videos, so some people, it seems to come so natural to them that they're able to introduce themselves while standing in public in the middle of nowhere, in public or in the middle of nowhere, and they just speak as if they were talking to you. And I struggle with that because I know maybe sometimes I try to have written things out first, what I want to say, and then maybe it sounds a little bit like I'm reading a script and not as natural. That might have something to do with it. I have no idea. And so yeah, getting losing my inhibition for talking alone in a room whilst filming myself for the world. But yes, I just released a new song called Never Up. It is my 12th single. So what I did starting in January 2024 is I started releasing a single every 8 weeks for 20 months. Um, that brought me to 10 singles, which I then reframed and put together into my debut album, Monsters and Lullabies, which I released October 2025. And I've started that process again. So the first song that I released this year was the beginning of a new process that was called Debt Collectors. And the single I just released on Friday is called Never Up. And they both, I suppose, touch on the same stuff. It's about class, the kind of structures that we all live within and try to navigate. Um, I think I did make a conscious effort. Well, maybe not an effort, because a lot of these songs are written. I think I made a decision to choose the songs that had an overarching theme, which I suppose I did do with the first album to an extent, but not as much as this one. So the overarching theme is class and yeah, this kind of social structures that we try to navigate in our lives. Um, and I suppose there's quite a few songs that will be coming up that are to do with sincerity, cynicism, identity, performance, um, oh, sometimes unconscious, sometimes conscious. There's a line in this song, "Never Up," that I like that says, "Cultural expectations worn like a dog leash." Um, and I suppose we all we all have an aspect to our lives where we think there are things that are not for us, they're for somebody else. And I guess that's what I'm thinking about when I'm when I'm singing about that. For example, there was a guy who I used to support who got keys. He was in his 50s and he got keys for his flat, his own flat for the first time, and he considered it posh to have keys for his own flat. You know what's happened in his life that's got him to the point where he thinks that having something as basic as your own keys to your own house is being posh. Um, and it is these kind of we're kind of coerced and conditioned into cultivating our own glass ceiling or class ceiling. I'm not sure how long I'll take this up to. Maybe I just dip my toes in the water. I will leave it up for people to find. Maybe I should just. I'll talk. I'll maybe do it for about half an hour, I think, and uh, and yeah, leave it up for anybody that wants to watch it. So the things I've been up to the last week. Well, I was last weekend, I just, I maybe 2 weeks ago now. I was in West Kintyre, a place called Clacton. They had a festival called React Fest, and that was a really good. It was like it's a really small. It seemed to be quite a close knit community where everybody seemed to know each other. Like the very next day, when I was walking back to the bus, I bumped into people that were at the festival. The guy who was serving me at the petrol station, he remembered me from the set before, the set the day before, and he was really complimentary. There was an old woman tending to flowers outside the bus terminal where I was going. She asked me if I had a good night, remembering me from the day before. So it was, yeah, a small community ethos that it was nice to be part of for a couple of days or for a few days, because there was a woman called Laurie and her husband Gareth who kindly put me up in their caravan outside their house, and I was sitting with them in their kitchen, drinking and eating and laughing, and yeah, they let me use their shower, and it seemed I got the impression, or they explicitly mentioned it, not so much an impression, that this is something that they do often. They get a lot of musicians down. Laurie was telling me that she's got this thing called Home Song, where she gets artists to come and play. They've got like a kind of side outhouse. Kind of had an Ali's cave vibe. There was lots of bits and pieces that looked like they had been collected for a long time, like a rocking horse or old dolls, and it was a cool vibe. And I stayed with them for 2 nights, and I was back to work for 2 days, and then yeah, off to Belladrum, where I went to stay with my sister because she goes every year with my niece Blossom, who is 5. My sister's been taking her to Belladrum every year since she was 1. So I stayed over at my sister's on Wednesday in Burnt Island, and we drove up. She was kind enough to give me a lift, although I did have to hold a kettle of sick because my niece wasn't feeling too good on the drive up, and I was crammed into the back of the car, surrounded by tents and bags and guitars. And the only thing that I could see that was suitable for being sick into was a kettle. It smelt of cheddars, which is uh, one of my favourite snacks. And I'm curious to how I'm going to feel about that the next time I go to eat a bag of cheddars. But she got rid of that outside. She just left it outside Aldi and in Inverness. Tried to put it in the bin, but aye, it was the gap wasn't big enough. So we went up and we had to camp in different sites. I was on a staff site and yeah, it was a really good time. She knew someone who knew my friend who was performing, Rory Campbell, known as Slow for Report. He played 4 times across the weekend because he played with his brother's band as well, Callum Campbell, which was I think a bit of I think it was a 5 or 6 piece. They were playing the grassroots stage and it sounded amazing. And then Rory played two other stages that didn't have PAs, unfortunately. But then the last stage that he played did, and as always, performed brilliantly. And I videoed them with this camera, so I'm slowly sending him clips for that. And then I played the free range stage on the Saturday, and I had a really good time. I think it's because there was a bunch of people there. So Matt and Kat, who I met 2 years ago, they're part of the committee for MoFest. They were there. Matt was playing with his band, Fishing the Kelpies, and so yeah, it was a nice close knit group. We kind of fractured at points, but when we would always come back and lots of drinking and laughing. So I think I'm probably going to stop it now because I find myself I keep saying, and I had a really good time. Had a really good time. Um, which could be quite boring. So maybe I'll just take it to 20 minutes. We're coming up for 17 minutes now. We've not had a single person join us. Thank God for that. So things I've got coming up. I am going to be playing Bellhaven Untapped on the 14th of August in Cairns Bar in Glasgow, which I'm really looking forward to. It's quite a good opportunity because the winner of that goes through to the Scottish final in Stirling, and then the winner of that wins 5 grand plus a place at the UK final down in London, where the winner of that will win another 10 grand. So big opportunity because there's a lot of, I mean, there's so much that you could do with that money. It would be such a boost. I think things that I would probably want to do, I'd want to actually get some merch made because I don't have merch yet. Um, but I'm not going to think too ahead. I'm not going to spend money that I don't have and count my chickens because there's so much talent in Scotland and the UK. One of the things that stood out the most since returning to music is the talent. The wealth of talent is just incredible. Genuinely, some I don't. As you say, it's such a shame because there just isn't enough infrastructure. Or maybe there's a type of monopolization in Scotland over grassroots music. I don't know. There's a band that's recently come out uh, talking about fair pay from DF concerts off the back of I think there's a publication called the Glasgow Bell, where they're highlighting how poorly DF pay support acts. I think they only pay them, was it 30 quid or something like that? I might be wrong. Maybe it's 50. But no, regardless of who regardless of how many tickets they sell, no, that can't be right. I think it's regardless of it already being sold out. So let's say they're supporting a band that's already sold the night out. The support band still only getting 30 quid for it. Something like that. Maybe I shouldn't be talking on it because I don't know enough about it. But this is coming for 20 minutes now. This is my first live stream. My name is Stephen McCafferty. That's Stephen with a PH, and McCafferty is McCafferty. And thank you that no one has joined. Thank you very much to all you non-live viewers. Maybe you'll catch it again when I leave it up. And goodbye.